Paul McCartney plays with the Rolling Stones on this album. A Beatle and the Rolling Stones played on one song together for the first time.
No.
This is rock and roll's Nat Rushman boy.
I've always said it. The thing is, the Stones are a fantastic group.
McCartney, cool, Circle.
Yeah, and Beatles and the Stones.
He said, there's a big, without a bass today, you move in. Yeah.
Macca
Yes.
turns up on this. I don't know if he was meant to say it or not, but he just
I
told.
think it's been out. I think I read it somewhere.
You think you read it
I think I read it.
I'm not to
following any
mention
rules?
Paul McCartney either. No. I mean, going to come out in the wash, isn't it? It's all going to come out in the wash.
See them every time they come out because they're a great band, and you know Mick can really do it, the singing and the moves and everything, and Keith, and now Ronnie, and Charlie. I mean, they're great. I love them.
John Lennon and Paul, first off, they gave us one of our first big hits, I Want to Be Your Man. They were the ones that collared us and said, hey, we've got the song here, That's
right.
And so our relationship with John and Paul and with the Beatles was, it goes back to the 62, 63.
And Paul was amazing. I'd sung with Paul before, but I never actually played bass. But I was playing guitar, he's playing bass. So he's great on it. It's really amazing.
The other enormous collaboration that we can't go past is with Paul McCartney.
Oh, yeah, he's lovely. He was made up like a schoolboy. Yeah, I played with the Rolling Stones.
So a Beatle gets excited about playing with the Rolling Stones? That's how it works?
Well, they were the two biggest pumps in the machine at the time, and they, still are.
When they're kind of writing stuff, it's to do with the blues, Whereas we had a little more influences. I mean, Keith once said to me, he said, you were lucky, man. He said, you had 4 singers in your band. He said,
Right.
We got 1.
I'm a compulsive songwriter. I mean, I like to write. It's one of my favorite things. It's one of those creative forms which all you need is nothing. You just need your voice and a notebook. You don't need anything to write. Your guitar's nice. So you just get a guitar, and then you have nothing, and suddenly you have a song. And then you have it on your iPhone, and there you are. And it's fun. It didn't exist before, and so now it does. And that's like a compulsive thing for me, and I really enjoy doing it.
A great feeling, the band feels really good about it. And a band exists, am I right, gentlemen, on what it does. Yeah. Bands like us, and then in fact all bands and groups, eventually, they start in little rooms playing to very few people.
Yeah.
And that's where you hone down your stuff, and that's where you got to, if it gets bigger, good luck. The essence of a band is in a small room with a lot of people, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
That's where you work your stuff out.
It's something that happens with the Jagger Richards songwriting team, which I always love to get together and encourage the pair of them to keep writing. And then if there's any gaps, I'll come in with, I've got plenty of riffs, plenty on the back burner. And then I'm very happy if they use any of my ideas too. Yeah, it's about bloody time, isn't it? I think, why disturb something that's magic?
And the only reason we're called the Rolling Stones is that we were making a phone call. We had a gig. I think it was Brian Jones at the time, called Jazz News or something about, we're doing a gig at the, Windmill Pub, blah, blah, blah. And they said, that's all very well, but what are you called? And down there on the floor was Muddy Waters' album. And the first track was Rolling Stone Blues. There it is.
The Stones was a lot about sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah.
What are the 3 things it's about now?
Rock and roll, sex, and drugs. Yeah. And in a different order. Yeah. Wonderful collaborations. But the main thing is that the boat was pushed off shore by the band, and anybody wanted to jump on, it was fine. But the thing is, we have to keep the core of the band going. Except one is still a band, and the others really wish they could be. I remember George telling me when I took him to the Brixton Academy, he came to a Stones show, and he was going, "At least you got a band, you know." Yeah, and I really felt lucky. Yeah.
I'm not the person who instigated the split.
You brought the Lloyds in there, didn't you?
Oh, no. John walked into the room one day and said, "I'm leaving the Beatles." And he said, "It's quite thrilling. It's rather like a divorce." And then we were left to pick up the pieces. But I didn't instigate the split. That was our Johnny.
This is rock and roll's Mount Rushmore point. You were watching with the rest of the world as that Beatles-Stone rivalry was going on because...
Yeah, I was watching from a schoolboy, the Stones and everything happening. And that's when I said, I'm going to be in that band, you know.
But I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, that when the opportunity to be in the band arose in the mid-70s, you were actually hesitant to join the Rolling Stones.
No, because they asked me after Brian died.
Yeah.
And I didn't get the message for 5 years because Ronnie Lane said, no, Ronnie's quite happy where he is.
Oh, so it was just decided...
And I didn't find this out.
When did you find out that you'd turned down the Rolling Stones?
I was sitting in between Mick Taylor and Mick Jagger when Mick Taylor leaned across and said, I'm leaving the band, right in front of me.
Yeah.
And Mick said, what shall I do? I said, well, I thought you'd never ask.
We had Paul and John Lennon were on backup vocals with us in the 60s, and we go back a while.
I mean, we started to notice that whatever we did, the Stones sort of did it shortly thereafter. So, like, we went to America, and, you know, we had huge success. Well, then the Stones went to America, you know. And we did, like, Sgt. Pepper. The Stones did a sort of psychedelic album, you know.
Yes.
There was a lot of that. But we were great friends, you know, still are kind of thing, and we admire each other. So it didn't matter. It was kind of cool. It was like, yeah, go on, here they go. Come on, Stones.
We'd play up to that. I think, you know, there was like a Beatles versus Stones thing, and then, oh, yeah, but not really.
No.
Meanwhile, we're working together saying, as your single ready.
I'll put ours out.
We have a couple of weeks to go, and okay, you go first. So we tried not to clash with our stuff. They gave us songs. Also, Paul and John are on a track called We Love You in the middle 60s, and another track, Dandelion, that John and Paul came by to sing, you know, because they like the Stones too, you know.
Yeah.
Are you the greatest rock band of all time?
I don't like talking about me. Who is, mate? Who cares?
Well,
There's a few good ones out there. Nice to talk to you.
you too. Who's the greatest band in history?
In history? Well, I used to like Louis Armstrong's Hot Five, you know. I suppose Mozart had a hell of a band behind him as well.
Was that a band? It's a big, big band. Are the Stones the greatest?
Oh, yeah, the greatest rock and roll band. Always have been, always will be.
Oh, you know, there's a lot of differences, but I love the Stones. But I'm with you, the Beatles were better.